"Is anybody there?" said the traveller, knocking on the moonlit door, and his horse in the silence champed the grasses of the forest's ferny floor, and a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveller's head, and he smote upon the door again a second time. "Is there anybody there?" he said. But no one descended to the traveller. No head from the leaf-fringed sill leant over and looked into his grey eyes, where he stood perplexed and still. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight to that voice from the world of men, stood thronging the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveller's call. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved, cropping the dark turf 'neath the star and leafy sky. For he suddenly smote on the door even louder and lifted his head. "Tell them I came, and no one answered, that I kept my word," he said. Never the least stir made the listeners, though every word he spake fell echoing through the shadowiness of the still house from the one man left awake. Aye, they heard his foot upon the stirrup, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hooves were gone. Hello and welcome to another Oak Tree English poetry reading. This time I'm taking advice from two family members. My mum said that my videos were too long, so I'm limiting it to 4 poems, and my cousin said he found facts about the poets more interesting, made the readings more interesting. So thank you, Pip, for that advice. Thank you, Mum, for that advice. Here is my attempt. So that was, of course, Walter de la Mare's "The Listeners." It was it remains his most famous poem. Walter de la Mare was born in Charlton in Kent in 1873. He was related by his mother to Robert Browning, would you believe? He was friends with Rupert Brooke, from whom he inherited enough to fund his literary career, which is quite a nice inheritance. Rupert Brooke, of course, was the one who wrote "The Soldier," "If I should die, think only this of me," etc. So that was where we started. Now we're going on to "Dover Beach" by Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was the chap who wrote, who referred to Oxford as having being the city of dreaming spires, which is rather nice. Which of course is because he was educated at Balliol College in Oxford. He came from Lallemont-Thames in Middlesex, and did you know he was born on Christmas Eve in 1822? He was educated in Rugby, where his father was headmaster, and then Winchester, and then finally Balliol College in Oxford. He wrote this one, which is "Dover Beach," while he was on honeymoon. He had a happy marriage. They had 6 children, but very sadly 3 of them died in infancy. Here is "Dover Beach" by Matthew Arnold. The sea is calm tonight. The tide is full. The moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast, out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window, sweet is the night air. Only from the long line of spray, where the sea meets the moon-blanched land, listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. The sea of faith was once too at the full, and round earth's shores lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. But now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. Ah, love, let us be true to one another, for the world, which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, nor love, nor light, nor certitude, nor peace, nor help for pain. And we are here, as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. Let's move on. Let's move on to W.H. Auden. This is a poem which was popularised by the film Four Weddings and a Funeral with Hugh Grant, and it's often read at funerals. W.H. Auden, unsurprisingly, initialised his name because his first name was Wystan Hugh Auden. He was born in York in 1907. But he was educated, once again. He was an Oxford boy, just down the road from Balliol, in Christ Church College in Oxford, where he became friends with John Betjeman. He was taught by J.R.R. Tolkien, who's a name familiar to all of us as the writer of the Lord of the Rings. Tolkien, of course, lived at Merton College, but he would have taught around the university. And it was by his tuition by Tolkien that he engendered a love of Anglo-Saxon. Tolkien loved Anglo-Saxon stuff and was a professor of Anglo-Saxon at Merton College, which, by the way, has an enormous and probably the best collection of medieval literature in manuscript form. This one is called Stop All the Clocks. Stop all the clocks. Cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos, and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin. Let the mourners come. Let aeroplanes circle moaning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message: he is dead. Put crape bows around the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policemen wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, my south, my east and west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever. I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now, put out every one. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood. For nothing now can ever come to any good. It's really poignant in the film, and I hope you felt the poignancy. Now, our last couple of poems have been by Oxford Dons. This one is not. This one is by Walt Whitman, but similarly it is immortalised in film. This is one that is has a central place in Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams. Walt Whitman was born in West Hills, New York, in 1907, so we've got an American poet here, and he left education at the age of 11. So we're not talking about an Oxford Don here. He's regarded widely as the father of free verse, and this particular poem is about the death of Abraham Lincoln. As I said, made famous in Dead Poets Society. Anyone familiar with the film will recognise this poem because it's called "O Captain, My Captain." O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rack, the prize we sought is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But oh heart, 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 oh the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold and dead. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung, for you the bugle trills. For you bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you they call, the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, Captain, dear father, this arm beneath your head. It is some dream that on the deck you've fallen, cold and dead. My captain does not answer. His lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm. He has no pulse nor will. The ship is anchored safe and sound, its voyage closed and done. From fearful trip the victor ship comes in with object won. Exult, O shores, and ring, O bells, but I with mournful tread walk the deck my captain lies, fallen, cold and dead. I hope you've enjoyed these this reading of four famous poems, with a little bit of background to the poets themselves. If you have, please like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. It's YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.